Wes, why don't you start telling me about some of the lesser known horror games? So we just want to mention a few of these real quick. These are games that are of the horror genre that may not have been as popular, but something you should pay attention to.
Yeah, we got D, and that's all it is. It's the letter D. It was a point and click, mystery horror game. I know they made a D2 for the Dreamcast, and then we had Carrier for the Dreamcast, which was it tried to be Resident Evil on a boat. It wasn't bad. It wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. Had monsters. But one of my favorites, two of my favorites actually was Manhunt. And Manhunt wasn't a horror game, but it was definitely a scary game. For those who do not know Manhunt, you were a guy that was kidnapped and just kind of set loose in a city. And the guy is making a snuff film while he lets loose all these demented gangs to try to kill you. And so you're trying to survive to kind of get back home, and it's a lot of stealth, but the whole time this guy is making a film of you killing these people. So it definitely had some scary tones to it, even though it was a little on the action-y side. But it was definitely twisted. And then you had Alan Wake. Alan Wake was another great one. Alan Wake was really good.
Again,
really good.
I never played Alan Wake, but the remake is coming out like in a few weeks. I'm definitely getting that remake. It's $30. So,
like I said, folks, please don't judge him.
I've made mistakes. What's funny is I love a lot of Remedy's games. Max Payne 1 and 2 were both by Remedy. I love them.
Yeah. Oh,
Control was amazing. Did you play Control when that came out a couple years ago?
Control?
You never played Control, Wes?
I didn't play Control.
You need to play Control.
Okay.
It came out in 2019. It was the best game that came out in 2019. And it's made
on
by
Game Pass.
It might be
on Game Pass. Okay. I think I remember seeing it.
If you like Alan Wake, you really need to play the game, and you really need to play its DLC.
Okay.
I can't spoil it for you because it's called this, but there's something called the Alan Wake expansion in Control.
Okay. No, I loved Alan Wake. Story was great, and yeah. So now you said it's got an Alan Wake expansion. I'm gonna play it.
Yeah, like I said, it's not spoiling anything. The damn expansion is called the Alan Wake expansion for Control.
Now, Alan Wake was good. And then it's an older title that's been remade a couple times, but to me, this is like the granddaddy of the survival horror genre. We got Alone in the Dark.
Oh yeah, I mean that's what started it all, right? This was before Resident Evil.
This was before Resident Evil on PC. You had Alone in the Dark. To me, that's the start of the whole horror type of games. And I know there were some others out there, but the known ones, you had Alone in the Dark, and then they remade it a couple times. I know they remade it for Dreamcast, and I think there was PlayStation, and I want to say they remade it again. For some reason, I'm thinking a 360 or an Xbox is popping in my head.
They definitely made a version on Xbox, but I don't know if that was a sequel or if that was a remake. I have no idea.
Yeah. But yeah, that's Alone in the Dark. So I mean, those are a few of my highlights of lesser known horror games, and some of them I definitely have to go and revisit because I just miss playing.
A couple of mine that I have, there's again some like horror light ones or some like lesser known ones. Bloodstained I mentioned earlier, so I won't get into that anymore. If you guys haven't played Bloodstained, for the love of God, go play Bloodstained. Another one that's something that people really don't talk about or think about. There was a PS2 game called Evil Dead: A Fistful of Boomstick. It was a budget game. It was like $20 or $30 when it came out, and like not a lot of people bought it. Like there was obviously a cult following even at that time, and some people did buy it. I bought it like day one. So that's something I would check out if you guys can find a copy of Evil Dead: A Fistful of Boomstick. Then there's Carry On, which is a newer game. This game came out I think about a year ago. It's from a Polish developer, and it's a reverse horror game. So you actually play as the monster in this game. And I don't recall playing as the monster in very many games at all. And it was a lot of fun. There was like puzzles and stuff. You had to figure out basically how to get, essentially most of the time you're spending like how to get out of rooms. You're way more powerful than the humans. So they're not that hard to kill, But one issue people had, which I would agree with, there was no map. So this was like a Metroidvania style game where you're going to different rooms and stuff and having to try to figure out how to get your way out. And then you would get an objective. It would be like, you'd have like a checklist of stuff you need to do, like go to this room and go like do this. But there's no map. So you have to like, I was pulling up maps online towards the end of the game because I was trying to or just like beat the game basically. Like that, it was on the Switch. So I was like, there was no achievements or trophies. I was just trying to beat the game, but I couldn't figure out this last part. And I had to pull up literally maps of the game for the last hour and try to figure out like fan-made maps, like where the hell I was going. That was the only downfall of the game. Other than that, that game was so much fun to play.
Okay. Carry on. Never heard of it. I gotta.
It's great. It's probably like, it's at this point, it's like a year old. It's probably like $10. Okay. It's fantastic. Okay.
I'll look it up.
It looks like it has like 2D pixel style graphics. Another title that we didn't mention yet was Vampire Knights, which is behind me actually. Right there. That's Vampire Knights. You guys can't see it. I'll put a picture up for you guys. But it is a light gun game on PS2, which was like a horror, like spooky kind of game. That game was a lot of fun to play. I have a bunch of light gun games for PS2. They're all fun. But Vampire Knights was excellent, and that the one problem that you may have when you play this game is the voice acting is atrocious. It's like despicable. It's like laughable throughout the entire thing. It's absolutely terrible. But the game itself was a lot of fun. Have you ever checked Vampire Knights out?
I did. It was, I agree. It was good. It was good. Playing Vampire Knights kind of just brought me back to playing House of the Dead.
Yeah, House of the Dead was great, man.
It was good. So
yeah, I had that on a few different consoles. Not the Saturn though, because that one was $400, or at least it is now.
$400. Somebody just traded a bunch of Saturn games in, and House of the Dead was in there. $400.
Yeah, I can't believe that. You let me know about it, and I was like, "Oh, which games got traded?" And I was all excited, and like you showed me House of the Dead. I was like, "Oh, it looks cool." And you're like, "Oh yeah, it's $400." I'm like, "No, I'm good. I'm good." But is that what other systems did the first House of the Dead came on? Because 2 came on Dreamcast. Obviously, we know that, and they're all pretty accessible. But is that first one only on Saturn?
It's only on Saturn.
Probably why it's $400. It's like you either buy the arcade machine or you buy the Saturn version.
That was it.